Sofia Vergara is dealing with some issues involving her ex, and for those of you who are not interested in celebrity stories, just wait 1 second because it has to do with fertility and whether or not a man should be able to use fertilized embryos that they created when they were a couple. So Nick Loeb is her ex-fiance. They're no longer together. She's moved on to bigger and better things. And apparently he wants to utilize the embryos that they created together while they were still together. Now apparently they were going to attempt to have a child via surrogate, so that's why they created the embryos. And right now there are 2 embryos that are frozen at a clinic somewhere, and he wants to unfreeze them and try to have a child. Now, according to their documents, he cannot do that unless he has the consent from Sofia Vergara. However, she has not consented, and he wrote this very fascinating op-ed in the New York Times about how he should be able to do this. So let me give you a little piece of that, and then we'll discuss. Many have asked me, why not just move on and have a family of your own? I have every intention of doing so, but that doesn't mean I should let the 2 lives I have already created be destroyed or sit in a freezer until the end of time.
Okay. First, let's get goofy. Every time somebody says Frozen now, since I have young kids, I think of Elsa and Let It Go, which actually is perfect for this story. Nick Loeb, Let It Go, Let It Go. Look, they're not lives yet. They're not. No, a life looks like this. It looks like that. It doesn't look like an embryo sitting in a freezer somewhere. If it was alive, why doesn't it get up and walk around? Okay, I know that's overly simplistic, but you can create many more of those, and it's really fun doing it. So you don't have to obsess about this thing that's sitting on a petri dish somewhere. And she doesn't want to be with you anymore, dude. I know, I watch Modern Family. It's hard to let it go. I got it. But she's moved on. She's got a new partner. So go find a new partner. He's apparently a financier. I never heard of this guy, right?
And he also has a business known as Crunchy Onion, or Onion Crunch, I should say, which sounds like it could be a cool tech company, and then you look into it, and it's literally what it sounds like it is. It's just a crunchy onion seasoning for food.
Okay, wait, hold on now. We're gonna, okay, hold on. So first of all, I thought for sure that it was either a satire site or something to do with like crunchyroll.com/TYT. I didn't say you'd get great anime there, but I'm just saying. But how could it not be a tech site? How could it not be something digital? No, this financier is like, oh, I got it, dude. You take onions, you crunch them up.
Yeah, they're like fried
onions. That's the genius plan.
They're low in carbs, though. Anyway, I don't agree with him. He shouldn't be able to do what he wants to do, especially because they've already signed contracts and you need her consent, okay?
That's the most important
That's the way it was drawn up. It could have been drawn up in a different way, but it wasn't, okay? You need her consent. Sorry, she's not giving it to you. You got to move on. But I also feel bad for him, okay? Because he obviously hasn't let it go. He's having a really, really tough time. And this isn't about life. And I don't believe for a second it's because he's this conservative who's pro-life. I think it's because he really wants to some way, somehow maintain a relationship with her. And this is his way of doing it.
Definitely. And because if you have a kid with someone, well, you're locked in, man. You're locked in for decades. I mean, by definition, you have. When the kids are 18, you don't have to necessarily see the other side anymore. But until 18, you're going to have joint custody, usually, right? And you're tied into that person. He's trying to lock her up this way. Now, look, in my opinion, right? And even if he's like Mr. Pro-Life and thinks that the Petri dish is filled with humans, which, by the way, then you should care about all those Petri dishes because they have thousands upon thousands across the country, across the world. They have millions of Petri dishes with embryos just like that. And you know what they do? And the pro-life people, by the way, never care about this. They go flip out if you want to do something with your body. Those Petri dishes that they believe, by definition, are already life forms.
Yeah.
People throw them away all the time. Mitt Romney used to invest in a company that threw them away. And nobody ever says anything, right? No, you're trying to get back into her life in the most Weasley way. And you already signed a contract saying you wouldn't do this. It's a no-brainer. He's definitely wrong.
I read his op-ed, and there's one part in it where he says that there have been 2 cases similar to this that have been brought up to courts. And only 2 of the 10 cases involved women who wanted to do what he's doing, and they got what they wanted. The two women were cancer patients and they were undergoing chemotherapy, which meant that they couldn't conceive. So they had these frozen embryos, and even though their past partner didn't agree to unfreezing them and whatever, having kids with them, the judge decided that the interests of the mother wanting to have children outweighed the wishes of the man. And I thought that was an interesting way of ruling in that. It's controversial, but I don't know if I even agree with that, even knowing that that woman is a cancer patient.
Yeah. Especially because if she passes away, then you've put all the responsibility on the guy to raise the kids.
That's a great point, yeah.
And when he didn't even agree to have the kids in the first place.
Yeah.
So that's super fishy if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes two to make a thing go right. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have that and you haven't both consented, that's a hell of a step to take.